Bono from U2 testified on Capitol Hill in front of a Senate subcommittee on foreign policy and ISIS, and he made some comments that have been widely mocked in the media. So here's exactly what he said. Quote, "Don't laugh, but I think comedy should be deployed. You speak violence, you speak their language. But you laugh at them when they're goose-stepping down the street. It takes away their power. So I'm suggesting that the Senate send in Amy Schumer and Chris Rock and Sacha Baron Cohen." Now, again, this is his comments discussing how to combat ISIS. And people are like, dude, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. You want to send comedians to fight well-armed, lunatic, brainwashed terrorists. But I'm actually going to defend Bono here, because I think that everybody's taking his comments way too literally. So Bill Maher did a whole thing about this, where he went on and on about how, oh my God, people in Hollywood are so fucking narcissistic and they're so self-absorbed that they think they can solve every problem. So Bono's saying you send in comedians, Hollywood comedians, in order to solve ISIS. Don't do that. They'll kill you. They'll crucify you. They'll behead you. They'll do this. They'll do that. Bill, he's not an idiot, okay? Like, he gets that. Oh, really? If you send Amy Schumer and Chris Rock today to Raqqa in Syria, they're going to get beheaded? I thought they'd sell out a stadium. Like, obviously he knows that, Bill. Obviously he knows that. The point he's making is long run versus short run. We're engaged in what you can call more or less culture wars between the West and radical Islam, fundamentalist Islam, and our culture, I would argue, as I'm sure everybody listening to the show would argue and others would argue, is better than theirs. Therefore, all you need to do is expose people to that culture, and you start chipping away at the brainwashing and the ideology, and in due time, you lower the numbers more and more and more and more, and there become fewer and fewer and fewer jihadists, because they were able to see, they were able to witness, the upsides of Western culture that's been so thoroughly demonized in their culture. Now, in terms of the ISIS fighters that exist right now, do they need to be defeated militarily? Do they need to be defeated with force? Yes, they do. Now, I've often said from the beginning, and I actually think Bill Maher agrees with this, that it's not our fight, it's not our job. So I support the Kurds in fighting ISIS. I support Shia militias in fighting ISIS. I support moderate Sunnis and Sunni nations that want to fight ISIS. By all means, they do need to be defeated militarily right now. The problem already exists. But what Bono's talking about, or how I interpreted it, is, hey, in the long run, when we talk about how to defeat ISIS and how to defeat religious fundamentalism of all stripes, the way to do that is to expose people to the awesomeness of secular liberal culture. Guys, and this isn't just theory. Like, I personally know somebody who was an Islamist, and then one of the main things that eventually led them down the path of reforming themselves was being introduced to Western TV, Western shows, Western movies, because they watch it and they go, oh my God, this is fucking awesome. I don't know why I hate these people. They seem great. And think about that. It makes sense, man. If you show somebody who's embedded in a fundamentalist culture, whatever, you pick the TV show, whatever your favorite TV show is, Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead or all these different things. What, you think they're not going to be interested in the storylines? You think they're not going to watch, like, oh my God, that's actually really interesting. I kind of want to come back and watch this and binge watch it until my fucking eyes bleed. Of course, because they're human. There's something in there that still is interested by some similar things you're interested in. It's not like fundamentalists, even though they pretend like, oh, we're so anti-sex. It's not like they haven't fucked and they don't know that it feels good. There are some universal things. So the point Bono's making is you got to chip away at that fundamentalist ideology by letting them know and exposing them to Western culture and Western society. And oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes they go, oh my God, that actually seems awesome. And we're over here repressed. We're not allowed to drink. We're not allowed to smoke. We're not allowed to fuck. We're not allowed to have fun. No music, no entertainment, no this, no that. And in the long run, our culture wins because our culture is better. So Ironically, I think Bill Maher is attacking Bono for a position that he also has, because we've heard Bill Maher talk about this before. Whenever he goes on rants about this stuff, he always talks about how there are differences in cultures. Some cultures are better, some cultures are flat out worse. No question about it. So the good culture has to defeat the bad culture, and oftentimes the way to do that is, in the short run, yes, there needs to be something done militarily. But in the long run, you have to win in the realm of ideas. You have to win in terms of competing philosophies. And I actually believe our culture is better. I actually believe that, comedians and actors and entertainers and all the different aspects of Western culture is superior to Islamic fundamentalism. So we will win, and Bono is right to point this out. People are taking his comment way too literally. He doesn't mean you literally send comedians today into Raqqa. He's not stupid.